Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Guest today is Benson Maweu. Benson, please tell us where you are in the world and what you do for a living with Yuuji Shopping.
Thanks much for the invitation to the session.
Yeah,
My name is
happy to have
Benson
you.
Maweu, and I'm joining from Mombasa, Kenya. Mombasa, Kenya is our port city and also the largest city in the country, Kenya. And right now, I'm engaged in building a marketplace for small towns in my country, Kenya. It's a problem that's all over the town except in our capital city, but prevalent in all the other towns. And that's the problem we are building this company to solve.
Sure. So you made the marketplace for local consumers where you are, or it's sourced by local manufacturers?
No, for local vendors.
Local vendors.
We'll connect them to more customers locally from where they are located and have the customers enjoy instant delivery instead of ordering and waiting for a week for their products. Now they can be able to shop and get their products in some few hours or 1 hour. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what kind of prompted you to want to create a marketplace like this? Obviously, it's probably not I know you mentioned it's been a problem for people that are outside of the capital city and maybe the more rural regions. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? And what was kind of the big thing for you that caused you to say, like, you know what, I need to make, I need to turn this idea into a full blown business. It's that big of a problem. So just tell me a little bit more about that.
Okay, let me start by introducing my background a bit. Yeah, my background is in the logistics and the trucking sector. I've been working in the logistics sector for the last 10 years. And I've been always on the move, working in that sector. So most of my shopping, that time I shopped online. And for example, I ordered a smartphone like 3 to 4 times. And every time I order a phone, I go to these phone shops. The first thing we do after we order a smartphone is to go to our phone shop, and have a screen protector fitted on the phone, so that it can protect your screen in case of accident or falling on the phone. And these vendors always ask me, you guys, when you order from our competitors, a company called Jumia, when you order from Jumia, where do you want us to sell our phones? And Jumia is delivering these products from Nairobi. Where do you want us as local shoppers to sell our products to? And I was asked this question now by different vendors, asked me the same question, and coupled with my own frustration, the delay in the delivery of the products was you wait for days or even a week. I already had that frustration. And now the vendors are asking me, where do you want us to sell our products? So I saw there's a need here. These sellers want to sell online, but the current player doesn't source locally. You only source from the capital. So where do these local sellers sell through? So that's how I conceived the idea and saw it wise. Oh, let's have a local solution whereby we rope in these vendors, it allows them to sell locally, and also the shoppers who are frustrated by the delays in the online shopping can get the convenience of getting their products within a few hours or within the same day, the latest. And that's how basically the idea came about. I conceived the idea in 2016, and I can say fear prevented me from pursuing it until 2020 is the year of COVID, is when the idea came boiling again inside me. And this time I decided, okay, let me give a shot. I registered Yuuji Shopping in 2021, and I can honestly say that I didn't know how to run a startup. So I procrastinated looking for perfection, because every time we build a platform and argue with my small team, this one is not good. No, we cannot launch this one. And we end up demolishing it and starting all over again.
Right.
Build another one, argue among ourselves, demolish it, build again. That went on for the entire 2021 and 2022. I can say we procrastinated for 2 years. And the fact is, as a founder, I didn't know how to build a startup. So 2022, as it was nearing to the end of 2022, I came across Founder Institute, an accelerator. I believe you know them, Founder Institute.
So
I did an application to join their program, and luckily I was shortlisted to be among the founders to join. I joined the program, and within like 3 weeks, I sort of became fearful of the assignments. And I sort of self-rejected myself. I saw, no, this one is not meant for me. This thing is too difficult. I cannot manage this one. I jumped off the program. I continued doing my thing again, until last year, 2023, is when Founder Institute, I don't know how I eventually found myself in the program again. They eventually roped me again in the program. And this time I also wanted to run away, but we had some other two founders who actually dragged me inside by force. Stay here. Where are you going? And I eventually stayed there and I did the course. And funny thing, the two founders who actually dragged me inside ran away along the way. Wow. And the guy they were dragging inside stayed there, and I eventually even became the chairman of the entire program in the country, Kenya. Oh, and wow. I did well. I completed the program in last year, and we out of 15 companies, we completed only 6 of us. And out of those 6 of us, is only me now who is in the second program on Founders to the Funding Lab program. And the purpose of the Funding Lab program is to help early stage founders to raise their pre-seed round. We are in the 3rd week in the Funding Lab program, and so far the going is good. And I'm also still now running the company based on the teachings I got from the core program. I did customer validation, I did customer interviews. I also talked to vendors to actually validate if they have this problem, and most of them were in the affirmative that really there is a serious problem here. And we just launched. I can say we just launched, and we already have 6 vendors, and we have done some few orders, not much. We've just done 10 of them, but we are really marketing the company to ensure that we do more and have serious traction on matters revenue, because the revenue is key in any business. And all is well, and I believe we'll be successful and hopefully be $1 billion company, because the market size, according to last year's e-commerce revenue in the country, is $3.6 billion industry. And that's a good market size. And we believe if we position ourselves well through serving locally, we'll grow big by ensuring our customers are more satisfied, have more convenient shopping solutions, and also the local vendors, the local business community thrive by opening them more growth opportunities, both locally and also as we grow, we also open up so that they can also sell far outside even their local town. That's our future dream as we grow.
That's amazing, man. And so basically, the premise of the company was basically to, buy things that would ordinarily vendors would not really be. There basically wasn't a logistical capacity for vendors to sell into these maybe more remote or rural areas in Kenya outside of the capital city. So you're kind of providing this facilitation for people to be able to, buy and have things delivered efficiently in just a few hours out in regions outside of the capital city. Is that do I basically have that right?
Yes.
That's awesome. So, yeah, I mean, it kind of obviously prompts me to ask, obviously, this is not just a problem that's specific to the rural regions outside the capital cities of Kenya, but probably in many other countries in Africa as well. So I know you mentioned you're looking to expand it into maybe consumers that find themselves in a similar situation in other areas of Africa. So do you have any ideas of maybe the kind of next, like once you really have your feet on the ground and get a lot of traction that you're doing in Kenya, what would you think would be maybe like the next area that you think has a big need for this kind of service that you're offering?
Yeah, we don't first of all, you don't want to buy it more than we can chew. Sure, we want to first to dominate the local market. That's the Kenyan market. Mm-hmm. And after we dominate the local market, then we'll start thinking of our expanding to other countries. And obviously, the country that comes next is Nigeria because of the population. These guys are many. And there's a lot of good market in that country. And if all goes well, we'll also expand there, also go to Ethiopia, go to Egypt, go to South Africa, and eventually dominate the whole Africa, God willing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And no, and I think you have you have the right kind of frame of mind for this, right? It's like, don't think you want to think big, but obviously you're focusing on acting, in your immediate area and making sure you're doing the right things that are right in front of you before, thinking about doing it all across Africa, right? I think that's a good and healthy perspective that you have. So let me ask you, I know it's been a kind of a long, road for you, starting in, the idea was 2016, 2017, kind of first started in 2020, kind of had some just like a long roadmap even from then and kind of started last year. So what kind of marketing kind of channels are you utilizing in order to drive more traffic to the website to make sure that people are aware that this is something that they can use? What are you kind of using in that way to drive awareness and traffic to the website?
Right now, since we are just bootstrapping, we don't have that much funding on our side. We are branded reflector jacket. In our country, there are these motorbike riders we call boda. We use them as public service vehicles, where they carry people around the town and city. So these guys are expected by law to wear a reflector jacket so that they can be visually seen by other road users. And we have branded these reflective jackets and we are dishing out to them so that there's a move around the actually advertisers. And we also have those other three-wheeled tricycles we call tuk-tuk. We have many of them. We have thousands. We also having some stickers we are sticking on them as they move around. They also advertisers. We're also doing some social media adverts, although not much. But basically, those are the two ways we are doing. And we are also out there talking to people about our business, talking to vendors about our business, and also having some stickers inside public service vehicles. So as they move around, people can get our message. But as funding comes and also we increase our revenue base, we'll also explore other ways of also growing the businesses, and we may explore Google Ads, can also explore some billboards around. And we also, I'd forgotten, we're also using search engine optimization so that people can actually locate us when they do a Google search. And so far, so good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I know funding is obviously, the most important thing before you can go and do these big advertising campaigns on either Google or Facebook or anywhere you want to do them. I actually quite like what you're doing now. I mean, I think it's a really creative solution to try and provide a very valuable service with maybe not as much funding as you'd like to have, but still getting the eyes on the brand and the product and driving people to the site that way. It's really extremely creative. And I think people should take a page out of that book when they're thinking about, how can I get eyes on and how can I, drive awareness of my product with not having, $1 million per se. There's ways to do it. And it's a very probably effective and creative way to do it. So I quite like that idea. That's really awesome. And I guess the other thing I'll ask is, so obviously you have the kind of two sides of the business, right? Which is obviously, driving consumer traffic to the website to buy the products, and then also working with vendors and expanding how many vendors that you're working with. So what's your general kind of strategy for, I think you said you have 6 vendors now, which is amazing. How do you drive more, how do you kind of get these meetings and how do you get in front of more vendors to add them to the site as well?
I physically visit their shops and talk to them. I want to lead the sales as a founder. As a founder, I have to lead the ship from the front. Because they are most of them, the vendors we're onboarding are located within the town. I physically move around and talk to them and onboard them. That's awesome. What I'm doing. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah. So what kind of feedback do you get from them? Like when you talk to them about, your site and the service that you're providing, what kind of feedback do you get from vendors? Maybe an interesting point might be what does a vendor say? If you talk to them and they say no, we don't want to do this. What is that conversation kind of like?
Yeah, there are some who object, and I don't think they object because they don't want. Because one thing I've realized is that most of the local businesses are run by employees. So these are people who can't make the final decision.
Right.
And I initially faced that problem whereby you talk to them, they embrace the idea, but they tell you, okay, leave us your business card. We'll give it to boss and explain to him once he comes. And somehow it's like they were forgetting. So I devised another strategy where I sought to know who is the business community chairman in the town. A friend of mine referred me to their offices and I went and talked to them. I registered my company with them, and they sort of opened some doors to other vendors. And now it sort of made it easy for us to reach these guys, because now it's like we're having their father, now the chairman, endorsing us to them. And it now started working. Because initially vendors were skeptical about us, because as you know, when you are starting, you are nobody and nobody knows you. And sometimes people mistrust people who they don't know. But when we got the note from the chairman, things now started unfolding. And now I can say now they have started embracing us, and we are good to go. And that's another great, thing I may wish to add on is, the forums that I've attended and the events, most of the events are in our capital city. I go there and do some presentations, do some lecture, and every time I go there, people actually wonder, where did this one come from? Because in the city where I am, we are not known for this. In the city of Mombasa, which is our coastal town, we are known for fun, the beaches and nightlife. That's what exactly we are known for. We are not known for hustling this this big. So they always wonder, how did this one come from Mombasa? We don't know Mombasa people for being too ambitious like this one. And funny thing, the guy is so ambitious from an extent that he's even now representing the whole country in the Founder Institute Funding Loan Program. And we, the guys from Nairobi, where we think we are the ones who are ambitious and the guys who have been always setting the pace, now we have someone from, I can say, an underdog. Now he's on top of the game and he's representing us there. How did this one happen? And they wonder, but I tell them it's perseverance, it's grit, it's passion, it's ambition, and the desire to make it big and also solve problems, customer problems, vendor problems, to ensure that our society gets convenience in online shopping, and also our businesses, especially local businesses, get opened up to more opportunity to sell. Because actually in business, the main thing is selling. And once you can provide them with a platform where they have a potential to sell more, you are solving a problem. And that's basically what's driving me, the ambition and also the power to solve problems. That's what driving me, not even the money, no, the power to solve problems. That's what drives me, number one. Yeah. The issue of the money is later, but now let's solve problems first. Then the issue of money we can talk about later.
Right. I think that's the start of, obviously, any great business is like, if you're going after the money, it's probably not going to last that long for you. If you're going after a problem and you know that you're helping people and helping other businesses and helping what is an entire country's infrastructure to be able to deliver more convenience, and that's essentially really what you're doing. I think you come from a great, place of really like helpfulness, and that's where I see a lot of success in business come from. So no, I think you definitely have your head in the right space. And let me ask you this too. I suppose, can you also mention the name of the accelerator program that you work with? Again, I'm familiar with it, but anybody that might be listening, maybe somebody finds you, maybe somebody else is listening from Kenya or anywhere else around the world that might be interested in getting in touch with the folks at this accelerator program. Can you say the name for that again?
Founder Institute.
Founder Institute, right.
Founder Institute. They have two programs. The one is a core program. It lasts like 3 months. That's where you are taught the basics of validating your idea. And also how to actually run your business in terms of understand the legals, matters cap table, matters advisors, how to launch your business, how to build, what to expect during building, what to expect during launch, how to grow it once you've launched it. And after that, if you qualify, you go into the second program. They call it the Funding Lab program. This is a second program where they help you actually raise your pre-seed round so that you can scale your business now. Yeah, that's amazing. So what would you say if anybody listening that maybe might be interested in using the Founders program or just wants to start a business in any capacity, if you could give somebody that's very new as an idea, based on everything you learned working with that accelerator program, what would be one big piece of advice you would give to any new entrepreneur looking to do something like this? Number one, I would recommend any aspiring founder anywhere in the world to actually enroll with the Founder Institute. These guys have a way of having you validate your idea so that you don't build something people don't want.
Right.
Sometimes as founders, we have some buyers. We believe our idea is $1 million idea, is a big money idea. But in the Founder Institute program, we have mentors who are experienced business people who have been in the game for years. And they will listen to you. You'll pitch in their sessions. We call them hot seat. Because it's not easy to pitch, especially when you are just starting. Like me, I'm naturally introverted, and in fact, when I was starting, I could not pitch.
It's funny because you were so skeptical of working with them at the beginning. You left the first time, and then you found your way back, and then you ended up working with them. So I think your recommendation of saying like you recommend anybody work with the Founders program, you're somebody who is as skeptical of it as you are. I think this is very valuable for you to say, like, no, actually, you should like work with these folks if you can. So, yeah.
I think the main reason why I was running away from the program every time I joined is because of my introverted nature. I'm naturally shy of public speaking. And now in the program, it actually forces you to pitch every week
right.
before Mendes. And when you are introverted, to talk before cameras is a nightmare. So this is what was making me to run. But eventually I got used to it. And now I can pitch even before millions of people. I don't have a problem with that now. And I can say it really helped me, because if I didn't do that, there's no you can be a startup founder when you cannot pitch, because you're always pitching to customers, you're always pitching to employees, you're always pitching to investors, you're always pitching to partners. So how do you run a startup if you cannot pitch?
Yeah, every step of the way, there's a pitch, like you say, with investors, with even customers. I mean, you're advertising, you're pitching to customers, you're pitching to vendors. So no, it's very true. And I think a lot of maybe aspiring or young entrepreneurs that might be more introverted, like yourself, might think like maybe I'm just not cut out to be a founder or a CEO of a company. But listen to people like you say like, no, I was very shy, I was very introverted, and through the founders program, I was able to become a little bit more. You don't even have to be extroverted, just be comfortable speaking in front of people. I mean, you can be an introvert and still be able to speak well in front of investors or anybody that you're giving a pitch to. So I think that's amazing advice. Yeah.
The program has a way of removing that fear inside you through these repeated pitching sessions, weekly pitching sessions, and also encourage to also pitch before you are a small team. You also pitch, you record yourself pitching, you post that small video on YouTube and share the link to the video.
Mm-hmm.
So you are basically kept on that pitching mode until now. The entire things goes from uncomfortable to now comfortable. And that's essentially the basics of being a founder. If you cannot pitch, I can advise you just go find something else to do, because you're always pitching. In fact, I don't think if there's a single day where you not pitch, because even if you not pitch to an investor, you'll pitch to a customer, you'll pitch to a new employee as you expand your team. And basically that's all about life, because we are always pitching. It's only that we don't know. We're always pitching our ideas. We're always pitching in the dating market. You also want a spouse.
Right.
You have to sell yourself. It's something that, to me, I thought it came naturally until now. I came to start a startup is when I learned that this thing does not come naturally. It's a skill that you learn along the way. And these incubation programs have a way of teaching you that. And also another thing, most founders have an ego. Especially when they get information contrary to their idea.
Mm-hmm.
They may see you as an enemy or someone who does not wish them well. But these accelerators, through their no-nonsense mentors, they have a way of crushing that ego. Now, as a founder, you become teachable, because being a founder is a lifelong learning process. And you cannot learn when you have an ego, because you'll always oppose contrary information, which may be very beneficial to your company. So these incubators have a way of crushing that ego. Now you become teachable, and they set you up to success. Through one thing, the network. They have a very big network. Like for now, I have a network from all over my country, from all over the world, even up to the US. And this is something I could not get on my own. And if someone had asked me prior to that I needed this network, I would have told him or her that I don't need. But as you continue in your journey, you realize you need this big network, both locally and internationally. And these incubators have a way of opening you up to this network, a lifelong network of people, founders, fellow founders, exited founders who have been in the game for years, investors, also advisors, world-class advisors. And actually, these incubators have a way of setting you to success. So I'd encourage any founder everywhere in the world who is watching me, just enroll to any any incubator program that's local.
Yeah, no, I think it's great advice. I think a lot of people don't start businesses, or they just leave it as an idea and let the idea die in their head because they don't think they're maybe extroverted enough to start a business or give a pitch. And I don't think people realize that these incubator programs, like what you did with the founders program, are out there. A lot of people are not aware that these exist and how helpful they can actually be. So
True.
Yeah, no, I really, I think it's really insightful for folks, anybody listening, and A lot of what you said as far as advice, I mean, everything it's in business and in life. Business lessons are life lessons too. So, what the things that you learn in these programs and for being an entrepreneur, you learn lessons about business. It turns right around and can help you in your everyday life too, outside of the business. So I think that's really valuable advice for anybody listening. And Benson, I just want to say thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate your time and your insights. I think what you're doing is amazing. And I just want to say thank you again. I really appreciate it. And I wish you continued success and the best of luck, my friend.
Okay, thanks a lot, my friend.
Yes, sir. Best of luck again. I'll talk to you soon, Benson.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.